Thanks for hitting the rewind button with us tonight. I'm Dal, this is Dan, and we're going to go back to 1992 tonight, Dan, to revisit the premiere of Batman, the animated series, for a little watch along.
Okay. I'm game. Let's do it.
So you said in our last episode that you didn't actually get to watch the premiere of Batman.
No. So Batman, the animated series, was a big part of my childhood, but it started a little late into my childhood, more around middle school, because it started when we were both in elementary.
Yes.
And unfortunately, around that time, living in the Bible Belt, I had a family that was very much into a religious phase here and there, and sometimes, almost like the movie Waterboy, sometimes I had a family member that thought everything was the devil for a while. So that there was things that I wasn't allowed to participate in, watch, do, and as weird as it may sound, Batman was one of them.
Were you able to watch The Simpsons and Power
No.
Rangers?
Okay. I was not.
Okay.
It was one of those where everything had some weird extension of the devil's influence. But again, we live in the Bible Belt. That's where that comes from. It was just a lot of heavy church belief kind of stuff at the time. For Batman, as weird as it sounds, I remember wasn't allowed to watch Batman. Like, I got to enjoy, the 66 Batman Adam West TV show. I got to enjoy the 89 Batman movie, even maybe Batman Returns. But for some reason, around the time Batman the Animated Series came out, which would have been the best thing ever, because I was watching the promos on Fox, but I wasn't allowed to watch it because Batman was a bat. And for somehow, some way, my family learned something about bats being used in witchcraft rituals or some bullshit, and so that was enough reason for them to say, like, okay, well, you can't watch that. So I did not get to enjoy Batman until way later, when I was recording it on VHS tapes every afternoon, right before the cartoon lineup ended on weekdays when you got home from school. Because if I'm not mistaken, I think they play Batman like at 4:30. On weekdays on Fox, and I was recording like one after the other. And
I think it changed times a few times over the years. I think initially it was like 3:00 and then went down the line.
I think you're right. But at the time, I knew I was recording them at 4:30 at least, because the school bus wouldn't have got me home until 4:00 probably, with school ending at 3:30.
And I think that's the time when it went straight from Batman the Animated Series to a hour of The Simpsons, with the way they had the blocks programmed at the time on our local Fox station, which was a great time to be a TV watcher.
I wouldn't know. I didn't get to watch The Simpsons until much later. So
no, even when you were recording Batman, you still couldn't watch The Simpsons?
Oh no, I could watch Simpsons at that point. Like I said,
that's what I was talking about.
Yeah, this wasn't a long period. What I went through with the religious can't do that, can't do this kind of mentality going on. That last, I mean, it was just, there was like two moments that happened, and they were kind of split or far apart, and they were very short-lived, but there was enough for me to really miss out on the initial release of Batman, Power Rangers, Simpsons.
Okay, gotcha.
But like I said, I came in late to the game, but not much later. For instance, I think I definitely started watching Batman before he switched over to WB for the 4th season, and they changed the look and everything. So I definitely came in probably around season 3.
Okay. Yeah, right before I think season 4 was when they did the changeover, right? So it was kind of the adventures of Batman and Robin at that point.
Yeah, that's when they had a giant change of the style, and they
okay. Yeah, thankfully I was able to watch it, and now I went to school with kids who said, they couldn't watch The Simpsons or various things, Power Rangers, because it was evil and representative of the devil and this, that.
You experienced other people went through the same thing?
I didn't experience that.
No, but you knew other people.
But I knew other kids who
well, see,
also,
that makes me feel a little better. It's not just me that went through that.
Yeah, it wasn't just you. It was a trend. I don't know why The Simpsons were evil. I guess just because Bart was a little.
The Simpsons just had some adult humor. Yeah, because The Simpsons was prime time.
Right.
And Bart was very rebellious against authority, and you don't want your children seeing that and thinking it's okay to tell adults to eat their shorts.
Bart's been in trouble before. Now he faces the ultimate punishment.
Can you just give me a spanking?
Don't point that thing at me.
The Simpsons, tomorrow on Fox.
Batman the Animated Series premiered on September 5th, 1992. just a couple of months after the release of Batman Returns in theaters.
From the sewers of Gotham, a new villain emerges. From the rooftops, the perfect enemy comes to life.
I am Catwoman.
And the only one who can save this city is a creature of the night. Michael Keaton.
What do you want?
Danny DeVito.
You don't really think you'll win, do you?
Michelle Pfeiffer. Batman Returns, June 19th.
Had a lot of Batman Returns influence, and especially the look of the Penguin.
The look of the Penguin and the Catwoman, both very much,
Yeah.
I think, inspired by those characters. Everything else kind of set its own trend because we hadn't seen Clayface, the Riddler, Killer Croc, any of those guys, or Mr. Freeze, any of those guys in cinematic live action interpretation. You know, the Riddler, Mr. Freeze, the Joker, all of those had been in, and even Catwoman had been in the 1966 Batman that you were talking about, but never in that cinematic way. And I feel like,
Except the Batman movie, the Batman 66 movie.
well, of course, yeah, which was just kind of an extension of the show. So, talking about the animation of it, it was really dark for its time. I remember reading years later how they drew it on black paper.
Yep.
And were using the darkest colors that were allowed on TV at the time, at least for that first season,
Yeah.
which I think is where some of the best stuff is. But I was super pumped about this. This was one of the few animated shows that got a primetime premiere. Fox made a really big deal out of it, promoted the hell out of it. Commercials everywhere during the cartoon blocks on Saturdays, during the afternoon lineup, and it was something you had to be there for Sunday night to watch the premiere.
Through the shadows of Gotham City moves a creature of the night. Darkness is his ally. Vengeance is his creed. His name is Batman.
Justice will be served.
Sunday nights, prime time begins at 7/6 Central with Batman the Animated Series on Fox.
In the premiere episode that they debuted, there is some scrutiny about this, but I have the tape, so I can tell you.
Okay.
It was the episode On Leather Wings featuring Man-Bat.
Yep.
Tomorrow on Batman, when a winged creature terrorizes Gotham.
Get away!
Witnesses accuse the wrong man.
The Batman's been sighted breaking into Phoenix Land.
And the police declare war.
I want him by any means necessary.
On the prime suspect.
In your Batman the Animated Series watching, where were you at when you first saw that episode?
Do you mean like what age I was?
No,
or?
I just mean like in the lineup of episodes that you remember seeing. Was how far into the Batman the Animated Series experience were you when you saw that?
Oh, I have no idea. I mean, you have to understand, when I did finally start watching it, Batman was already airing 6 times a week.
Right.
So I was just like taking in like one after the other as I was recording them on my VHS tape set for the 6-hour limit. So I was recording, I think, up to 12, 13 episodes on a tape. But yeah, it's like I was familiar with a lot of the characters. A lot of them I never heard of until the show.
Man-Bat was one of them.
Yeah, Man-Bat, I think, was someone I never heard until the cartoon.
Yeah.
And thanks to the cartoon, whenever I did see him in the comic books, I was like, oh, it's Man-Bat. But Man-Bat had been around for a while. He'd been around since 1970. Popped up at Detective Comics 400.
Okay.
So yeah, he's been part of the Rogues Gallery for a while, but they just never adapted him for the screen until
Batman the
this
Animated
time.
Series.
And he's also one of those characters. See, that's the thing I love about Batman villains, and it was really proved itself in the cartoon series, the way they presented these characters. All these guys could be their own horror movie.
Yeah.
Every one of them. Clayface could be his own horror movie.
He's going to be.
Man-Bat could be his own. Oh, that's right. Yeah, I heard talks about that. Two-Face could be his own horror movie. Clayface, Man-Bat, Killer Croc. These are practically
Even
tragic
Mr. Freeze,
monster characters.
Yeah, you're right. Just about everyone there could be a great standalone horror movie that's their own either villain or anti-hero of the movie.
Yeah.
I guess that's true with Man-Bat also with his story. But I was just asking you that because, this is my first experience to Batman the Animated Series. I don't think I had seen Batman Returns yet. I didn't get to see that until it headed to the video rental.
So I remember seeing it at the theater.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw the first movie, 89,
the
Batman,
theater?
and Return. I saw them all at the theater,
Okay.
but I especially did see the Return at the theater. So I guess whatever phase my family is going through must have been after it hit theaters and right before the cartoon came out.
Right. So you got this little 2-month window before you had to go back to no Batman. Maybe that's
Yeah.
what inspired it, with the all the bats flying around and Batman being evil in the movie, or not really evil, but perceived as being evil in the movie. Yeah, I hadn't seen Batman Returns yet. Was well aware of it. Was totally enthralled by the marketing. Was eating the breakfast cereal.
Batman Returns, the greatest new cereal Gotham City has ever known. Now it's marshmallow and chocolate flavored. With the amazing new Batmobile and incredible new villains. Catwoman. The Penguin. It's deliciously crunchy chocolate flavored cereal and great marshmallow shapes. The action-packed cereal that's part of this complete breakfast.
But didn't get a chance to see it in theaters. My Batman theatrical experience didn't start until Batman Forever 2 years later. I was super pumped about this cartoon. And I was I had seen the older Batman cartoon when it would play in reruns. And I think I'd even rented
Do we say the older Batman cartoon? You mean the one from Filmation?
the one from Filmation, 1970s into the 80s.
With Adam West and Burt. Well, Adam West was definitely the voice of Batman. I can't remember if it's Burt Ward or Casey Kasem at that point.
I don't recall either, but it was kind of an extension of the 1960s show.
Right.
The Adventures of Batman with Robin Boy Wonder.
With the same villains, and they added a few more. Like we got to see Scarecrow and some other Rogues Gallery mainstays.
Especially in Super Friends, yeah.
Yeah. But so I was expecting that same level of terror, right? Not the lack of terror from those episodes.
I was about to say, I never watched a Super Friends episode and felt terror.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. So when I'm watching this at, I guess I was 6 or 7, 6. Let's say 7, 6, 7. I'm not going to do math right now. It's on a Sunday night. This is before the X-Files was ever on, so I wasn't expecting a scare. That was kind of a terrifying episode because it was so dark. It opens midnight in Gotham City with police blimps in the air. Blimps, the most ineffective police vehicle of all times, in my estimation. You feel otherwise?
No, I'm just laughing the way you stress "in the air" as if blimps do not belong in the air.
Well, they belong.
They have police blimps in the air.
They belong in the air, but I mean, they just seem so cumbersome. Like, you just see a blimp and it's just kind of gliding along. Like can you chase a criminal? I mean, can you even maneuver it very well to be effective in tracking a criminal?
Blimp has been keeping you up at night, hasn't it? You've not been able to get a wink of sleep worrying or overthinking this blimp situation.
6-year-old me loved the blimp. 40-year-old me watching this episode again is thinking, it was cool to see then, but it's just not a practical police vehicle.
So the adult you must think the Turtles blimp is the worst vehicle of all time then?
Well, it definitely goes against that whole ninjas cannot be seen that Splinter.
Especially when they have the giant ass logo saying Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on the side of the blimp.
Yeah, there's no confusing who's in that blimp. I guess the people of New York must be immune to blimps. They're just like, oh, it's some kind of toidles. Kind of a big toidle. I don't know. Where I was going with that.
Blimps are cool, Dal. Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, The Rocketeer. Blimps are cool. Remember Batman fought the Scarecrow in a blimp, and it was awesome.
Okay, point made. Where I was getting back around to before I went on my blimp tangent is...
But you hate blimpies too, don't you?
Why
do they have sandwiches? These sandwiches aren't in the air.
They're not very good either. Are Blimpies still around? Or is that still
They
a
are.
chain?
There's the Blimpies in Wade Hampton in the Walmart, and I like it. I enjoy it very much.
In the Walmart.
Sponsor us, Blimpies.
Sure. I love your sandwiches. Haven't eaten one in 20 years. Didn't know this.
But I will now. You sponsor the rewind button.
Yeah. Didn't know the franchise was still around. What I was trying to get to was when I was asking you when you saw the episode, was for me that was pretty terrifying. 6 years old watching this bat creature that I'd never seen before transform from a scientist into this, werebat. And I remember sitting there just watching this episode unfold, being slightly terrified, but also couldn't look away and being so pumped for the next episode to air, which I think at that point it was starting in a couple of weeks on Fox in the afternoons, 5 days a week. But since you didn't have that same experience, you probably can't relate to the terror of watching it. When you saw it, were you?
Well, I can't. I was going to say I can't relate to ever being scared by a cartoon, but I tell you why, and that's because growing up, I was used to watching monsters in my cartoons, whether it's Mutant Turtles with all their
Oh yeah.
mutant bad guys they fought, or Power Rangers, or
But
yeah,
the
but there were just plenty of cartoons with monsters, like the Swamp Thing cartoon, even. But
that's true.
it didn't freak me out unless the person who is transforming did not want it or did not enjoy it.
Okay.
But in this case, Kirk Langstrom in the cartoon turning into Man-Bat, he didn't have a problem with it. He was cackling like a madman, like a Jekyll and Hyde transformation. So that didn't bother me in the least. To me, that was just simply, oh, he's turning into a monster. That's perfectly normal and the kind of things I watched, especially growing up watching like Ghostbusters, because that was the first movie I ever memorized growing up and being so familiar with. So I was already deep into liking things with ghosts and monsters and kind of horror elements like that. So it didn't bother me. Not to get too much off on a side tangent, the only cartoon moment that ever bothered me growing up, because this was a transformation against someone's, even though it was a dream sequence, there's an episode of Tailspin where Baloo has to race a robot, and he is having a nightmare where he's on a assembly line being like turned into a robot himself. Yeah, that freaked me out because that was him going down in the assembly line, running for his life, having his limbs replaced with robotic parts and stuffed in a tin can, screaming out of terror. That's way different than, say, the Man-Bat transformation.
That was a pretty terrifying scene too. And I don't mean I was sitting there just like
pissing your pants.
Yeah, I just mean for a 6-year-old kid expecting a level of Batman campiness, and then getting this
because you hadn't seen the movies. You said
I'd seen the movie. Well, I'd seen the first movie, so I'd seen Batman '89. I saw it as video rental, and then I had the VHS, but I hadn't yet seen Batman Returns. It was on the watch list, but I wouldn't see it for another month or two until it actually hit the video rental.
Yeah,
I was just expecting something brighter in tone, and it was presented very much like a horror cartoon series with the transformation, with the dark atmosphere, with the
film noir kind of atmosphere.
Yeah. And I believe that was set in the 1930s and 40s, so it was in its own era of time.
Yeah, they had flavors and things that resembled 1930s, 40s technology, but
then you had Batman's computer.
Yeah, well, they purposely made it kind of a timeless. They purposely made it a timeless kind of feeling for the show because they mishmashed so many things from so many different eras of technology and pop culture influence and whatnot. So you couldn't really pinpoint it and feel like it's ever really aged out.
Yeah, I guess all the vehicles were, well, not all of the vehicles. Most of the vehicles seemed like they were from that 1930s, 40s era, except the Batmobile. And then the clothes, the muted colors and everything, that jazz noir era. I guess that's also another thing I really liked about it, that the title, everything from the title cards on just felt like it was something out of those jazzy film noir films of that era.
I mean, it was high production. I mean, that was the amazing thing about Batman the Animated Series was, if you look at what came before, now you got your Japanese anime and that kind of stuff that absolutely like just took things way beyond any things you would see in Filmation, Hanna-Barbera, that kind of stuff. But while there are a lot of impressive things that were happening, even with Sunbow making all the Hasbro cartoons like G.I. Joe, Transformers, Gem and the Holograms, and Humanoids, while you were seeing super detailed cartoons like that, this just took it to a whole higher plane of how they presented it, because Batman, especially this one episode, the shots that they accomplished, the camera work with the animation. I mean, there was a sequence where Batman's being towed by Man Bat because he's got the grappling hook around his foot and he's being flown through the city and
Flung
flown through that
around.
construction site, like through the girders and up and down. It's like, that's a lot of insane work for a cartoon. You don't normally see stuff like that in. I mean, everything is just so cinematic. I mean, if you go back and watch cartoons like, say, from the '80s, you're right. A lot of it's bright. A lot of it's a little flat. The characters don't have a whole lot of depth. But here, they're like, no, this is like a little mini movie. Like, we're going to give you all these great cinematic camera angles. We're going to give you all these plays of shadow. We're going to give you all this depth going on with the foregrounds and backgrounds. And not only that, but we're giving you rich characters that have a lot of story behind them and actually emote things that just have you invest in their journey that they're going through within these 20 minutes. Like, it was pretty incredible.
One of the all-time great cartoon series, and fantastic episode to kick it off. Do you want to go into the plot, or do you want to just go into some of the commercials that accompanied this great premiere?
I feel like we could take a break for a minute, talk about the commercials.
Okay.
We'll be right back.
So the first commercial break kicked off with a promo for Lucky Charms, and they had a new shake that was premiering. Do you remember when rainbows got added to the mix in the 90s?
I don't, but that's only because I didn't eat Lucky Charms growing up. I still don't eat it today. I eat it every now and again just to remember why I wasn't eating it to begin with. But yeah, this commercial, I don't remember this. Actually, all the commercials that we see on this episode of Batman that was recorded, I've never seen any of them. So this is my first time seeing this Lucky Charms commercial, but it's fantastically animated. Like, I could not believe just how, like, the top shelf quality that went into this, like, little commercial.
Again, it was just a relic of its era with the top-notch animation, the money that they were investing in that. But yeah, kind of never one of my favorite cereals either. Ate it plenty of times. Will still occasionally buy a new variety when I see one. Oh, it's cinnamon Lucky Charms. Let's try that. I don't know if that's a real flavor or not, but if I were to walk down the cereal aisle and see it, it would probably end up in my cart just for the sake of trying it.
Oh, yeah.
Having that nostalgia.
Don't worry, I'll use me magic so the rainbow stays, so you can have rainbows every day.
He's making little rainbows.
Hi, marshmallow rainbows of pink, yellow, and blue.
Lucky saved a rainbow just for you, and you can catch it in your next box of Lucky Charms.
They're magically delicious.
Well, I gotta say, they just don't make commercials like this anymore. And if they do, I'm not watching them wherever they're happening, because these commercials, as silly as they are for what they're advertising, holy crap, this is just like over the top, Hollywood level, just like all out production of commercials, just advertising everything from Lucky Charms to Quick to Pop-Tarts. But it's just insane, the level of like the special effects that went into these and just how amazing they look.
Yeah, you brought up Nestle Quick. That was one of the commercials that stuck out for me too. I had not seen a Nestle Quick commercial in years, and was so shocked to hear the voice. And it came back immediately as soon as I heard it. The voice of Barry Gordon, who was Donatello in the Ninja Turtles, playing the Quick Rabbit. I think he was also a couple of bit characters, Penguin's henchman, and a few other things in Batman the Animated Series. Over the years, just kind of small,
I think you're right,
characters. But that just like opened this whole can of nostalgia for me, and just thinking of picking that product up off the shelf when it was in the can, and you had to pop open the can and mix up the chocolate milk. You know, nowadays it's all in the pre-mixed container.
Oh yeah, I'd rather drink it out of the pre-mixed. Well, that's Yoo-hoo. That's not Nesquik. But did you question, like, why in this Nesquik commercial? So the kid starts out in the kitchen and like having himself some Nesquik with the mascot, the rabbit, and then they just decide to go to the basement. Why do they go to the basement? Did I miss why they go to the basement? But for some reason, they end up going down there, and it's not just a basement; it's a dungeon. And in this dungeon is a witch that looks like Gwildor from Masters of the Universe, the movie from the 80s.
Yeah.
That little mascot of a guy, but that's what the witch looks like, or who it reminded me of. And they end up kind of defeating her in the dungeon, and then you find it's all in their imagination, and they go back to enjoying Nesquik. But it just kind of baffled me. It's like, okay, well, that was fun, and it was well made, but what was the motivation for going to the basement? I didn't understand that.
It's just an adventure, you know. You mix up some Nestle Quick out of the tin, and it just becomes this adventure that you can't resist. Unfortunately for me, it was always an adventure that was over in like 3 sips, because I would just chug chocolate milk and then, yeah. Where's that damn rabbit?
So there I was with Bunny, mixing up some Quick.
Don't forget to clean the basement.
When magically we were in the dungeon of the evil witch Creepella, who was stealing all the world's chocolate. We have to stop her.
I'll distract her with some Quick.
And I'll tie her up.
Chocolatey Quick? Looks like she's tongue-tied, too.
Who are you talking to?
Nobody.
Nestle Quick. It's magic in the making.
There was another commercial for Eggos.
Yeah.
And it was all about this kid just put the Eggo in the toaster like you're supposed to, and then the toaster transforms into like a drone, essentially.
And gets kidnapped by another kid,
Yeah,
right?
that his little brother down the hall like flies to his room and enjoys the Eggo. But all I kept thinking is, there's like a box of Eggos in the kitchen. Why doesn't he just go get himself an Eggo? And since the toaster ended up being a drone, did it even cook the Eggo? So is his brother just enjoying a cold Eggo down the hall? It's stupid stuff to mull over, but it begs the question. It's just, story-wise, doesn't make any sense. Visually, it's awesome. I mean, it looks amazing, and the CGI special effects were just, like I said, top shelf. But
It seems no matter how much
I couldn't understand why he didn't just go down the hall and get his own Eggo.
Get his own Eggo, because I guess they were playing off that old tagline, "Lego my Eggo."
Well, if he were in the kitchen and saw there's only one left and he had to fight his brother for it, I believe that and I have no questions for it. But this begs a lot of questions.
Yeah, you're right. Everything was so kind of over the top and nothing really made sense.
Crisp, delicious Eggo waffles, part of a nutritious breakfast.
Isn't technology wonderful?
Another product that I was excited to see again that I had forgotten about until I watched this tape again was the cinnamon mini buns.
I was just going to ask you things that don't make sense. Why was there a miniature Honey and Shrunk the Kid character helping that scientist try to put the cinnamon in the little cereal bits?
Because it's cinnamon mini buns. They were shrunk
But did they
down.
explain why the kid was so small? I mean, the kid's like the size of this Batman on the desk helping out with this experiment. All I wanted to know was, why is he so small? What happened to him? Why can't they make him bigger?
I don't know if that was a recurring gag in those commercials or not.
But that's what I thought. I thought there might have been like some previous commercial that showed that kid get shrunk or something that we were supposed to have known if we were watching those commercials back in the day.
Yeah, and I was, and remember eating the cereal and enjoying it. And I guess this was, with the help of the little shrunk down guy, this was more cinnamony than ever. It was taken to the max.
Oh, look! Now you can see the blast of cinnamon and sugar in Kellogg's Cinnamon Mini Buns, part of this complete breakfast.
Cinnamon sweet to the max, CB.
And they said it couldn't be done.
Like you said, it was just a wild visual experience for all those commercials that I don't think we get anything like that today.
Now, did you enjoy the karate school commercial?
Yes,
that was weird.
I can't find the tape that I actually had recorded, so I found an alternate tape in the bowels of the Internet Archive that we actually watched for this little watch along tonight to kind of give you that premiere experience. And it's a recording from a TV station out of Orlando, Florida. So they have some local promos, and one of them is for YK Kim's Taekwondo. And that is another wild local commercial about
self-defense
and also, I guess, getting off the couch and getting in shape for adults. And
well, it struck me kind of strange because when I'm growing up, every kid I knew taking karate, they would never demonstrate any karate. And that's because they were strictly being taught, this is not for you to go and be a bully. This is not meant for you to go beat up anybody. This is meant for you to just have the confidence that you can defend yourself and to actually defend yourself if needed.
Right.
So when I'm watching this commercial, like practically every example was somebody transforming into like some karate dynamo that just completely annihilates like anybody bothering them.
Right.
Because you got the one kid that's being almost like dogpiled by bullies, and then you just have like a jump cut of him and his
Karate
and his
yeah.
his karate gi.
I don't know what it's called.
I think it's called karate
pajamas.
Karate uniform, we'll call it. And he jumps up, and suddenly they're just all off of him, like he just kicked all their asses. It's like, that's kind of promoting opposite of what the kids were telling me back in elementary school. And then the next example was that woman, that was being like, I don't know what the guy was trying to do, but there was like a muscle man that was all on top of her. I don't know if he's trying to rob her or rape her or what's going on, but suddenly she transforms into karate woman in her uniform and starts
fighting him off,
whooping up on him.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense that you would want to know how to do it there, but the bully situation seemed like it was sending a little bit of the wrong message.
I think also they played it up like the dojo master, the sensei, whatever you want to call him, was a martial artist from movies. So maybe that's what he knows, you know.
Learn self-defense from world-famous action movie star Master Y.K. Kim. Is your child being bullied at school? Give him the confidence he needs to become a true winner in life. Don't let fear be part of your life. Learn self-defense at Y.K. Kim's Taekwondo. Are you ready for a change in your life? Kick out the bad habits, get in shape, and enjoy your life.
Break the bad habits. Caught me now.
Did you ever take karate lessons?
No, I never did. Did you?
No, never.
Yeah, this is one of the. I might have been interested in doing it. I kind of wish I had. No, did you enjoy any of the lineup of cartoons or TV shows that were being promoted at this time that were on this recording that we watched?
So I know you were a big Super Dave fan. So when I saw the Super Dave promo, I thought about you. Taz, it was just kind of fun watching the promos for Tasmanian Devil and
Tasmania, Tiny Toons, Super Dave, the X-Men. Now, did you watch Super Dave?
I watched a couple of episodes. I was not what I saw, I enjoyed, but it wasn't like on my must-watch list every Saturday morning.
Okay. I enjoyed it greatly, and it was even more exciting to learn that it was a real comedian that was that character who had a show on cable that was like a little variety show, and they always do some extreme stunt because the gag was he would do a stunt, but it's not a real stunt. It's a gag. Like, for instance, he'd be standing in the middle of the road and his stunt's going to be, I'm going to jump over this car running at me, but then it'd be run over, but they would just replace him with a mannequin that the last second gets smashed. And then when they do a close-up of him, it's like him in a fake squished body or something with his head only showing from underneath the prop and talking like he see you next time for the next stunt.
Right. Yeah, I never watched any of the live action stuff. I was vaguely aware that it was based on something real, but not having cable at the time maybe diminished my interest in it.
Yeah, a lot of it's on YouTube now. Okay. So I grew up with the cartoon. I didn't see the show, the live action show, till probably sometime in the last couple of years because I found it all on YouTube.
Incredible thrills! Chills! And spills!
When and where?
Watch Super Dave after X-Men Saturday morning on Fox.
I was going to say one more thing about the commercials. I really enjoyed the Chunky Soup commercial. The old block logo. I'm not a clam chowder fan at all, but if I was going to eat clam chowder, it would have to be that Chunky Soup clam chowder commercial from 1992 because they really, really sold that it was going to be some damn good clam chowder.
Not to me. Yeah, I kind of skipped over that commercial just because it just didn't speak to me. It's well made, like I said, like well produced and like all the fantastic videography of food, the way they can present, especially clam chowder, but that one just didn't speak to me as the same as the others.
I feel like every Chunky Soup commercial I've seen in the past decade or so has all been with some NFL player eating the soup.
Have you eaten your Chunky Soup?
Yeah. This was just a lot more enticing to me than those commercials, I guess.
Get ready for the biggest catch of the day. Chunky, the big soup, brings you New England clam chowder. Stupendously succulent clams, prodigious pieces of potato, blended together in a tremendously rich, creamy broth. Though the chunks are big enough for a fork, use a big spoon to get every deliciously satisfying bite. Chunky New England clam chowder. Soup so big, it eats like a meal.
So going back to On Leather Wings, one thing I would like to share with you, because I did my research on the episode just to have a little bit more to say about it. And the one thing that I learned was Frank Welker,
Yep,
voice of Man-Bat.
voice of
I mean,
Man-Bat.
let me take that back. Now, Mark Singer, best known as the Beastmaster from the movies and the TV show also, I believe, he did the voice of
the scientist
of Kirk Langstrom before he was Man-Bat. But anytime he changed into Man-Bat and doing all the monstrous sound effects,
the bat sounds,
the bat sounds, that's Frank Welker.
Yeah, Frank Welker, anytime you needed somebody to play an animal or a creature in the 80s, 90s, he was like the first call.
Yeah.
Most probably widely known outside of that is what, Fred from Scooby-Doo and then Ray Stantz from the Real Ghostbusters, but also Slimer from the Real
Megatron
Ghostbusters.
from Transformers.
Megatron, yeah. But yeah, any kind of...
I think I told you he was the voice of Godzilla, the 98 Godzilla?
I did not know that. Monster voice.
If you look at the credits for the 98 Godzilla movie and the cartoon series, Frank Welker's listed and credited as the voice of Godzilla. So I'd love to see video of him doing that into the microphone. I just want to see exactly what kind of noise he's making that they alter and do whatever they do through filters to get that kind of a sound effect out of him.
Yeah, what the character design is for coming up with these sounds, or does he just show up and they're like, Frank, it's a man that's turned into a bat and we need you to scream. Like, is there preparation for it, or is it just
like, does he go live in a cave with some bats for a week and kind of just pinpoint like, okay, these are the sounds they make and this is what I'm going to bring to the role? And
well, I don't think there's method acting involved, but there's got to be some kind of process of
there's got to be some reference for make the sound of a giant monster bat.
Yeah. Okay. That's pretty close.
I didn't realize you'd taken up listening to rock and roll, sir.
Do you remember when Bruce Wayne goes to the Gotham Zoo to get some help with identifying the sounds?
The sound that was on the tape that the security guard recorded of the bat.
Yeah. So there's a security guard. He unintentionally records the sound of Man-Bat on a little tape recorder because he's doing some recordings for like a DJ job he's auditioning for or something.
Yeah.
He's attacked by Man-Bat, and the sounds of Man-Bat is caught on the tape. Batman finds the tape. Batman then takes it to the Gotham Zoo to try to get some help identifying what are these sounds. How can I help? I need help identifying it. So then he, what I love though is when he goes to the expert and he says, "Oh, by the way, I recorded sounds of these, what I think might be bats in my chimney. Could you help me identify it?" "Oh yeah, sure. Let me hear it." And then he takes the tape player out and he plays that sound, and it sounds like the most ungodly, monstrous noise you've ever heard.
Yeah.
And I love how it's just the animated Bruce Wayne just kind of having this squinty look, like almost like an airplane moment, like looking side to side, like, this might have been me taking this too far. I probably shouldn't have done this. This.
But I fund this fucking zoo, so I'm going to ask whatever questions I want, because Bruce Wayne seems to fund everything in
Gotham.
City.
Yeah. He's always got some ties to it. But I just love that moment where he's kind of, you see his eyes darting back and forth as he's playing that sound, like, probably shouldn't have done this, because this does not sound like what I'm asking them to identify.
You donate a few million and you think you own the place.
Made for a good plot mechanism for that.
It did.
I think the grumbly old man scientist, the father of
Francine.
Yeah,
Francine's dad
was a fun character. When he first introduced him, you think he's going to be the
he's the red herring.
Yeah, the villain, and he was one of my favorite characters in that too. And just everything with the damn blimp.
And they have such a strange motive too for how Man-Bat comes about, because they say that they think bats are going to survive the next cataclysm, but not people. So it all starts because Kirk Langstrom is trying to create a serum that will give people the ability to adapt to a cataclysm the same as bats. And that's how he accidentally creates a Man-Bat and somehow just becomes kind of like addicted or hooked to his own serum. And that's what leads to him having to continue to find the ingredients to cook it up over and over again.
Pharmaceutical companies. And, yeah.
But I just found it so funny. It's like, so you're trying to do all this so mankind can survive the next cataclysm, but you have no idea when the next cataclysm is. So
man,
it'd It'd be a lot different if you knew it when it was coming and how urgent it is that you do this work.
Well, I guess they were onto something since what experiments on bat viruses led to the 2020 pandemic.
Yeah.
Man, we should have learned the lessons from Batman the Animated Series on Leather Wings and just not investigated with bats at all.
Yeah.
I got a list of all the items stolen from the chemical labs. Who would have thought they'd be used to create a monster?
I thought this was a great episode. The people that made the TV series loved this episode. They said it really kind of set everything up the way they wanted it to be perceived and accepted into the mainstream, as far as like, this is our Batman, and this Batman influenced so much after it. Like the movies influenced this, and this influenced the comics, and even some of the upcoming movies that were to come out. And people still celebrate it to this day because we still have comic books continuing the adventures from these cartoons. We still have, action figures being re-released in
these just came
the
out
style
from
of the
McFarlane
cartoon
last year. Yeah.
I definitely enjoyed it. I mean, like I said, I recorded every episode on VHS until they came out with DVD. And I had this whole series like memorized backwards and forwards at one point. Like, I could tell you like every character that every actor played, and then I could tell you every episode some character popped up in, or you could tell me some quote and I could tell you what episode it was. But I mean, the Rogues Gallery was just so amazing in this show.
I have so many favorite episodes. This, not one of the top 10, I don't think, on Leather Wings, but it really set the precedent for what was going to come down the line. And one of the things I love about just rewatching this, I forgot that Fox called their kind of presentation the Fox Action Theater. So it wasn't Fox Kids for this night. It was Fox Action Theater. And, it just kind of set up, oh, this is something special. This is not for kids.
And now, Batman, the animated series.
Batman would actually come back to Sunday nights. A few months later, Fox decided to cancel one of their other shows mid-season, and Batman the Animated Series went on at 7:30 on Sunday nights from, I believe, December through March. So December 1992 through March 1993. So several months of Batman the Animated Series in prime time. A couple other shows got some primetime debuts on Fox in the 90s. Tasmania, which we were just talking about, one of the promos we saw, Life with Louie, and Goosebumps. Were you fans of any of those shows?
I watched them all growing up. I was fans of all of them. I probably watched every episode of all of that. Love the jokes of the dad on Life with Louie.
Yeah.
Love the there's a lot of Tasmania episodes that I highly enjoyed, and Goosebumps. I was watching it on and off when it first premiered, but I have seen every episode since. And for what it was a good show.
Yeah, it was fun. I thought, when it got the primetime debut, it made it extra special also.
Yeah.
It's a shame they don't do more stuff like that these days to really kick off a show and make it feel special. But
well, it was easier back then too, when you had, even with cable, you still had like a smaller window of for people to enjoy things.
Well, I guess you had to make it a big deal too, because now there's, everybody gets to see a movie trailer on YouTube before they ever have to go to the theater to see it. And there's so many other platforms, so many other ways it's saturated. Back then it was special because you had to watch it or tape it. It's not on demand anywhere. I don't know. It's a great time to be a kid and be.
It was, especially when you see these commercials. I mean, they just went all out with these commercials. Like, I don't know if it's because nowadays we watch so many things without commercials because we watch after the fact, so we can on our DVR fast forward, or we just wait until it shows up on some streaming service. We get to skip the commercials altogether. But yeah, just to go back and watch like just all these unbelievable just productions of something just selling you cereal, something just selling you a drink, something just selling you a toy. It was just, I mean, it was an all-out production, and you just don't see that nowadays. And speaking of, when you're talking about the Sunday night lineup, I will share this. One of the, I do have a memory of going to Gaddy Town. I don't know if there still are any Gaddy Towns anymore.
Mr. Gaddy's Gaddy Land.
Yeah, Mr. Gaddy Town. It's gone through different iterations through the
over
time.
the years, yeah.
But when it was still in downtown,
Spartanburg?
not downtown Spartanburg, when it was still in Westgate and Spartanburg, I remember my family and I were enjoying, because Gaddy Town, what made Gaddy Town so different from, say, like Pizza Inn was they had these giant TVs. They were playing like all these different kind of things that you can go and sit in and watch while you were enjoying your pizza with your family. And I do remember there was specifically a cartoon room, and I remember getting to watching this giant TV while we had our pizza. We got to watch Batman one night, so that was really cool. I do remember that.
Okay, so you've got a little bit of that Batman the Animated experience in your.
I don't remember what the episode was, but I do remember getting to see Batman in that venue, and that was pretty cool to me at the time.
It's more than great pizza. It's more than fun and games. It's Mr. Gaddy's Gaddyland. Mr. Gaddy's Gaddyland in Poppy Square, Spartanburg has become the place to go for great food and great fun. The buffet is full of delicious things to eat. There's big screen TVs, one of the largest game rooms anywhere, and seating for up to 500 fun-loving, hungry people. Got a party? We're the perfect party place, no matter how big or small. Mr. Gaddy's Gaddyland, Poppy Square, Spartanburg. More room, more food, more fun.
What was your favorite Batman the Animated Series episode of all time?
Just, off the top of my head, it's a two-parter, and it's got to be Feats of Clay with Clayface.
Feats of Clay, that's a great one. I think that was might have been the second episode I ever saw of the animated series. That's a good one. I also really like Heart of Ice.
Heart of Ice is really good. That's really, both of them really just explore those characters like never before, and
make you feel
and
for
in
them,
Clayface's case is you never really got to see him ever before except in the comics. So that was, they just presented them in such extraordinary situations, and especially with Clayface. I think what resonated so much with me with Clayface is, remember I told you that to me a scary moment is someone going through a transformation they didn't ask for, they don't want, they're even crying out against it.
Yeah.
And for Clayface, that's what happened to him, because they got that the stuff that he can change his face with.
Serum, yeah.
Yeah, I can't. It was like New Agent or New You. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, because we were talking about On Leather Wings, and I haven't seen the episode in forever. But in the Clayface episode, just when they take the batch of the stuff and just hold him down by force and just pour it on nonstop over, like basically waterboarding him with this serum, and then they just like put him in his car as like this dissolving slime ball. Like, to me, that was like, oh my God,
terrifying.
Just, like, what am I watching? This
made me think of the scene from RoboCop where I think the character's name is Emil, and he drives into the vat of toxic waste, and then the back of the van opens, and he's just, whoa.
Dude, I just watched that. So my wife just finished watching all of ER, all 15 seasons of ER.
Mm-hmm.
That actor is in there for like the first third of the series or something, playing a surgeon that nobody likes, like a real asshole, real jerk. The things he goes through in that series was like, oh my God, like it was making me think of him and RoboCop all over again, because as they go to the rooftop to put a patient in a helicopter, he gets too close to the helicopter and it takes off his arm. And then when they reattach the arm, it ends up decaying anyway, so they had to cut the arm back off. And while he's just getting used to this new mechanical arm, they are doing another helicopter run on the roof, and he gets a little too freaked out. He's like, no, I don't want to do that. So he goes out the front door all the way down to the bottom level. Helicopter ends up having a disaster and plummets straight down on top of him in the bottom of level of the hospital. So it's like, yeah, that guy has got like one of the best death reels I've ever seen, of the melting guy from RoboCop and the doctor who gets completely crushed by a helicopter in ER.
Wow. I think after the first helicopter incident, I would hang it up. I'm not going to be a surgeon anymore. I'll find something else to do. Well, I enjoyed going back and just kind of reliving that moment in time from 1992 with you, and talking about the commercials, getting a look at Batman, revisiting the Fox Action Theater. And next month, one of the movies we hinted at but never really discussed in detail, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2 is headed back to the big screen for its 35th anniversary. Thought we might grab some pizza, and dive into that.
Yeah, absolutely. Might surprise you with this one. I might actually like this one.
I had a sneaking suspicion since monsters fight.
Yes. I got one box to check, and that's monster fighting monster. If you can give me that much, you're pretty much already ahead of the game.
And Dan, I think I'm seeing the bat signal out the window here, so it's time to ride off into the sunset tonight. In the meantime, if you want some more Rewind Button, be sure to visit us over at therewindbutton.com. Give us a like, subscribe,